Hey there friends, and welcome back to Busy Girl Budgets. My name is Mallory and I live in New Mexico with my husband and our 2 dogs. In today's video, we're going to be doing our cash unstuffing as well as budgeting for our upcoming paycheck. So grab your favorite drink or snack, cozy up, and let's get to budgeting. Well, hey there friends, and welcome back again. Long time no see. This video is coming to you guys late, and if you caught my post, I have been sick with COVID. It has been really rough. I'll get more into it as we go through the video. So I'm definitely still sick. So if I'm not as chatty or lively or any of those things, that is why. I'm just tired, but at the same time, I'm like kind of at that point where I'm sick of like laying around constantly and definitely want to get some work done and get stuff done for my YouTube channel and my Etsy shop. So I am back today and hoping to at least accomplish something by getting this video done. So I have a ton of stuff to unstuff. So let's just get right into it. Before I start though, actually, if you guys are watching, drop me the emoji where the person's wearing the mask, like the sick emoji. Drop me that in the comments and leave me a thumbs up if you guys don't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. So for the unstuffing this last week, I had family in town, so my niece was here. We had so much fun until the end of our trip the end of her trip when we both got sick. So I didn't know I had COVID until after she left, and I ended up in the hospital. So yeah, but we spent a lot of money this last week, and so we have a lot of things to unstuff today. So everything's going to be coming out of my wallet. So starting off with, this was actually in dining out. I got messed up, but dining out, 20, 40, 60, 80, that is coming out. Then my fun money, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that's all coming out. And then miscellaneous is 10. That's also coming out. So my wallet's empty. That was all spent. This week is the balloon fiesta here in Albuquerque, which is like my favorite time of year. So I'm pretty sad because I haven't been able to go to any of the events. And we'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm up to going, it is through this weekend. So technically I have to be home for like 5 days-ish. And I still don't feel up to like going out. And it's kind of a long walk to like from the parking into the facility where they have the event. So by no means do I even feel up to doing that right now, and I don't want to push it. So we'll see how I feel, but I've been watching it every day, the live stream on YouTube. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, it's pretty cool. Just look up Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta Live, and there's a few live streams that you can watch for it. Anyway, so nothing's coming from my emergency fund or my dog's emergency fund. Health is getting unstuffed, the whole thing. This was from, we paid our October premium. So 480 is coming out of here. So we have 100, 152, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, and 80. So that was paid a few days ago. So we're pulling all that out. All right, so that's empty, ready to start stuffing for next month's payment. Car maintenance, I had to pay my registration. So I need 50. I'm gonna pull this 100 and put a 50 back in. Okay, and then that's all I'm gonna pull from my high priority binder. So next we'll grab my short-term binder. How are you guys doing? I know it is definitely starting cold and flu season, so there are lots of bugs going around. I'm not really sure where I got sick. My niece and I had kind of been all over the place while she was here in town, and I started to feel sick after the Jonas Brothers concert, but it was an outdoor concert. So, I mean, but we were screaming our heads off the whole night. Like, we had so much fun. That was a blast. Yeah, it was my millennial dream. It was so fun. But yeah, so I know there's just a lot of things going on right now and you can't really avoid getting sick all the time. I don't get colds very often. My husband always gets a cold, but he's never gotten COVID. And I have gotten COVID 4 times. This is the 4th time that I've gotten it. But I have not gotten like a cold, a sinus infection, nothing in over a year since I started like this vitamin regimen. But yeah, this has really like kicked my butt. Definitely the worst bout of it that I've had. So my pups envelope we're emptying. We got dog food, their vitamins, and they both went to a DIY dog wash. So 120 coming out of here. Household is empty. We had our house number, like our street number, painted on our curb. So it's pretty common here where we live. They'll paint like the house number on the curb, and then they do a little picture, and you can pick which picture you want. So we have a Roadrunner on ours, so it's really cute. So it just makes it easier for them to see, obviously, your address. So we finally did that. That was $20, but I pulled it from household. Costco is getting emptied, and that's 50, 70, 90, and 100. So I started to feel sick last week on Thursday night. I kind of started to realize, like, I have a sore throat, and I don't think this is just from, like, having fun at the concert. Anniversary, I bought some of the gifts. So pulling the money from here, 220, 1, 2, and 20. So I started to feel sick Thursday night. Friday, I was still kind of like fighting it, but I was like, I'm definitely sick. Nothing from vacation. And Friday night, we had planned to go on a hike with some friends. So we went. Beauty, we're pulling 70, 20, 40, 60, 70. And I knew on the hike that I was like definitely under the weather, and it was a lot for me. It felt like a lot for me to do the little hike. And so it's Friday night, and then Saturday morning, I was like completely dead. We're emptying toiletries. We did some couponing at CVS, my niece and I. So I have 5, 10, 15 coming out of here. So Saturday, I was like absolutely dead to the world. I felt so bad because we were supposed to go to the balloon fiesta. We had decided Friday night, okay, we're not going to go Saturday morning because like you have to get up really early. I have to get up at like 3 a.m. to be there by like 4:30. The traffic's crazy and getting in there is crazy. And we were like, my niece wasn't feeling well either. And so we were like, we'd rather just sleep and try and go to the evening event. So morning came, I was miserable. I mean, I was like barely conscious. I slept a lot off and on Saturday. And then Saturday evening, we decided we're not going to go because it was windy. And when it's windy, they don't do the balloon events anyway. So they didn't really do like the full event. And so we were like, yeah, we're not going to like make the trek down there, and we don't feel good to not even get the full experience. So we decided not to go. My niece has been to this event before, so it's not like this was her only time to go. She's seen it before. But then I slept hardcore. Like, I took a lot of naps Saturday, woke up Sunday feeling like pretty good. And we had to take her to the airport. And I'm going to empty coffee. 5, 10, 15, 20. So we got up, took her to the airport. We had her there by like 8:30. And we came home, and I told my husband, like, okay, I'm feeling better. Like, entertainment's getting emptied. I was like, let's strip the beds and like disinfect like high touch surfaces, like all the doorknobs and light switches and everything. And like we opened all the windows and just like try to get it like fresh and everything. And shopping's getting emptied. We thrifted quite a bit while she was here. And then I was just cleaning, like not like strenuous or anything. And then I started to get like extreme chest pain. Like I could not even speak. And I was just like grabbing my chest and like screaming in agony. And that went on for like several minutes. And then my husband called 911, and the ambulance came, and they checked my vitals and everything. And they were like, well, your vitals are like stable, but since you've been sick, we really think that you should go to the hospital and like go to the ER and get checked out. And they're like, you can go with us, we can take you, or you're welcome to go alone, like drive yourself, but you need to go. And I was like, well, we'll just go right now. Like my husband will take me right now. So through all of this, of course, I'm thinking like dollar signs, right? Anyway, so then we get there, they take me back pretty quickly, and they do a flu and COVID swab on me, and it comes back positive. While I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I was wearing a mask. Like, I knew I was sick. I walked in and I was like, hey, I'm going to wear my mask. This place was packed, you guys, because this is like the biggest event of the entire year for our town. So this place is packed with people. It's a Sunday morning. Like, it was just insane. And so I was surprised by how quickly they got me back there. But then they were like, hey, we're going to have you come back. We're going to do a chest x-ray. That was normal. And then they did another EKG. Like, that was pretty normal. And then the doctor was like, you know, I really want to run blood on you. Well, my veins are like impossible. So also, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen if you guys want to skip and like not hear this story. But I'll start counting. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So nobody can ever get a vein for me. My veins are like really deep. Like, you can feel them, but they're like really deep and really small. And so multiple nurses came trying to get a vein. Can't do it. I have like bruises all over my arms. I have 50s. I have 51, 150. And they wanted to do an IV. They couldn't get it. So they finally just were like, hey, we at least need to get blood. So they finally got some blood with a children's needle and sent that off. And then my husband and I were just like waiting in a hallway. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, it must not be that serious because I'm just like sitting out here in a hallway. And then 3 nurses come like walking over to me really fast. They're like, we need you to come with us right now. You need to go in the cardiac room. Your blood test came back with high cardiac enzymes or something going on with your heart. We need to like get you hooked up to monitors. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So 20s, I have 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 80. So 580. So they take me in like the cardiac room. It's like the room where like if somebody's in cardiac arrest, that's where they are. So that was a lot for me because I have an anxiety disorder. So I start freaking out. Like, up until this point I had been like okay, and then I go into like a full-blown panic attack. So then they have to give me meds for that, and then I'm freaking out. And then because they couldn't, then they're like, we really need to get an IV in your arm. So they had to do like an ultrasound IV. So there's like a special type of way to get it in your arm. It's a very long needle. It was just quite the experience. And then they were like, we want to keep you here, give you fluids, observe you for a while, and then run your blood again to see like if the enzymes have gone away. And I was like, okay. Of course, I don't work in the medical field. Like, I don't know what any of this means. All I know is like there's something wrong with my heart. Like, what? Like, terrifying. So then after a few hours, another few hours go by. Meanwhile, I've been there like 8 hours at this point. The doctor comes back in and she's like, hey, well, your next blood test like came back normal, but the hospital, like, I talked to the hospital and they really would like to admit you so that you can be observed for at least 24 hours, because this is like, you know, pretty crazy thing that's going on. And they're like, it's very likely linked to the fact that you have COVID. And so I was like, okay. So they're like, well, we don't have a bed for you yet, so you need to wait till we have a bed for you. Okay. So then more time goes by. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Some more time goes by. Meanwhile, like, I'm in contact with my mom, who doesn't live here, my brother, like some of our best friends who are like helping take care of our dogs because we had to leave suddenly, and like all that stuff. And finally at like 8 p.m. they were like, okay, the hospital has a bed for you. I've been there since 11 a.m. Like, okay, the hospital has a bed for you, but it's going to be a while till the ambulance can come transport you. So I'm like, okay. So then this whole time, like, they were very busy. I know that they were very busy, but like my nurse did not come in and like hook up my monitor, even though she was supposed to do that. Like, I had the fluids hanging in my room, didn't hook them up to me. It took until about 11 p.m. when there was a new nurse to come in and hook them up. After I like called the front desk, I got out of my hospital bed, walked to the desk, asked, and they were like, oh, we don't show that you need anything. And they're very dismissive of me. My husband went out there. Finally, when my husband went out there, they came in. And then it took until a little bit after that, after I had been there for 12 hours, for them to offer me anything to drink or anything to eat. So I was starving. I was sick to my stomach, just like it was a very bad situation. And so I'm still waiting at midnight to be transferred to the hospital. And I finally just I called in the doctor and I was like, is it safe for me to just go home? Like, can I just go home? And he was like, I would like be comfortable with that as long as you like follow up with your doctor. So I was like, yeah, I just want to go home. And wouldn't you know that the moment I said that, 30 seconds later, there's 3 nurses in there getting me ready to leave after I've been there for all day. Anyway, so in 5s I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it was just like a frustrating experience. And then when I got home, I felt even worse, started vomiting. I was like shaking all night long. And it was probably the worst night of my life, quite frankly. So 1380 is what we unstuffed, and that is correct. And then I kind of was debating going back to the hospital the next day because I felt really, really bad, really bad. And I hadn't slept, couldn't eat, couldn't keep anything down, couldn't really get any liquids. And finally, I was able to sleep for a couple hours Monday afternoon. And then I thought, great, now I'm not going to sleep tonight. Well, then I fell asleep at 8:30 p.m. and I slept like all night. I got a good night's rest. And I have started to every day felt a little bit better since then. But needless to say, like it was definitely a scary situation and really just kind of like came out of nowhere because I felt like Sunday morning I felt like better. And then all of a sudden, like there's an ambulance at my house. So that was wild. Anyway, that was a very long story. And if you guys skipped it, totally get it. Totally get it. Anyway, but yeah, so I am home now though. I am home. Friends and family have been so kind to us, like helping with our dogs and bringing food and sending flowers and like checking in. And so, I'm definitely feeling better. And yeah, so hopefully I'm turning a corner. I'm still just like extremely exhausted though. So we've got my money unstuffed, and as I started to film this video, I realized that my iPad is dead, so we're going to do my budget with me like old school style. So let me grab my stuff and we'll get into that. Okay, so we are ready to do our budget with me. So this is going to be old school as in pen and paper, which sometimes, you know, I actually enjoy using. So because I'm doing this really late, I've spent some of the money from this check. So the amount that we're actually going to be putting into cash envelopes and savings challenges is $441. Today is actually the 8th, so this was from the pay date of October 3rd. So I'm 5 days behind. So we have our amount that we're going to add here. This is supposed to be amount added like a plus sign. It looks like I just put 2 T's, but I promise you guys I know how to spell amount. So, and then the balance of the envelope, just like I have on my spreadsheets, and then I have another side. So I'm also going to be starting some new savings challenges this week, so I'll show you guys those. They are part of my newest fall Etsy launch that I did a few weeks ago, which my shop is still running a sale for 25% off everything. So if you guys want to get that before it ends, go check it out because it's only on for a few more days. All right, starting off with my wallet. So I'm only going to be adding money to grocery this week. I'm gonna skip everything else, and I'm gonna put 50 into grocery. And then dining out, fun, like all of these are going to get skipped. Just because we're doing another stuffing in a couple days and we went heavy on the spending last week. So we're not even going to allow anything this week for these next couple days of these categories. So $50 is going in over here. I'm going to keep track on this. So 441 minus 50 means we have 391 moving forward. So let me grab my high priority binder. Okay. All right. And now that I've told you guys my crazy story of this last week, how was your last week and your beginning of fall? It is starting to feel like fall here for real. Like the leaves are falling outside, the trees are starting to change color. So it's definitely giving fall vibes, which is nice. Okay, my emergency fund is going to get 20. It always gets 20. And last week, because we finished my Chic and Sweet challenge, we were able to bring my emergency fund up to $4,500, which is great. My goal is to get this back to $5,000 as quickly as possible. I had it at $10,000, but then I paid off my car. And so I at least want to get it to $5,000, and I think I'm going to be able to do that in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. So today we're just adding 20 because I don't have a lot to work with today. So that'll bring my balance in there up to 4,520. All right, I need to tilt this a little bit or else my writing is going to be really bad. Okay, next is my dog's emergency fund, and they currently have 500, and we're going to do 20 in there today, and that's going to give them 520. All right, health is empty, so I need to add to this today because I just don't have a lot. We're just going to do 50. And that will be all that it has. And then car repairs today is just going to get 10, which will bring that up to 380. And then same for Michigan this week, we're just going to do 10. We are heading here fairly soon in a few weeks, so that's going to bring that up to 210. So that means in this binder we have 50, 70, 90, 100, and 110. Okay, so we're going to take that 391 that we had, subtract 110. That gives us 281 going forward into our next binder. I need to do a cash condensing, so I'm actually going to do a whole video of a cash condensing and taking money back to the bank, swapping some bills, and transferring money to my Ally account. So I'm either going to do that this week or next week, but keep an eye out for that because it definitely needs to happen. I need to get that money into my high yield savings. So the next thing that we are going to be working through is my short-term binder. Oh, and speaking of Ally, if you guys are interested in opening a high yield savings account, I do have a referral link in my description if you guys want to get one. And usually when you sign up and do the like transfers that you need to do, you get a bonus if you use someone's referral link. So if you guys are thinking about getting one, I really have liked Ally, highly recommend using it. Okay, starting off with my short term, my pups envelope, this binder's like empty, so we need to get to work in here. This week, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to add too much because we just don't have a lot. Pups, we're gonna start off with 20. We just restocked on food, so they're good there, so that's gonna be all that they have. Household is empty, it gets 5, so that'll be all that it has. Costco, I'm just gonna do 20. I actually do really need to go here, but that's gonna have to wait a few days. I can't go anywhere anyway for a few days. So the anniversary is empty because we did buy some gifts. So this is for our anniversary, which is coming up here in a couple weeks. So we're gonna add 20, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do 10. So that's gonna be all that it has. And then vacation, this is for our trip to Dallas. We're just gonna do 10 in here too. That's gonna bring us to 230. And then, whoops, beauty, that's going to get 10. So that'll be all that it has. And then toiletries always gets 5. And that will be all that it has. So let's add that up. We've got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then with the 5s, we have 80. Okay, so that means we have 201 because we had 281. So we have 201 going to our next page. So that's great. So let's flip this over and grab our next binder, which is our low priority binder. And this is empty too. So starting off with coffee, we always add 5, and that's what works for us. This is for restocking our coffee supplies, which I just did a restock of my Nespresso pods. Entertainment is empty. We'll do 10 in there. That'll be all that it has. And shopping is empty. We'll do 10 in there. And then gifts is also empty, and we're going to do 5. So that'll be all that it has. So it has 10, 20, and 30. So we started off, remember, with 201 for this page. So 201 minus 30 is 171, which is what we have to put into our savings challenges, which is great. We are actually going to be starting some new savings challenges this week because we completed the Chic and Sweet challenge bundle last week for $1,500, which was so exciting because I had been working on that for a little while. I do want to go back and look and see like how long did that actually take me from when I started it, and I can't remember exactly when. I'm gonna have to go back and look in some of my old videos and see when I started it, but it didn't take me terribly long, which is pretty cool. So I'm thrilled about that. So the first new challenge that we're going to be starting, these are all from my shop the new ones I'm starting, is for the love of fall. This is a challenge for 250. Each of the icons is worth a different amount. Before I do this, actually, I'm going to work my way backwards a little bit because I know that I need $36 for my every little bit challenge. So that's a 1, a 5, a 10, and a 20. So I'm going to take my 171 that we have for saving challenges, subtract 36. So that gives me 35. So actually, I said I was going to start right here, but I'm not going to. We're going to go to the back. Okay, so we got that one. That's 36. Okay. Then I have my December challenge, which I can't remember which ones I've done in here. So let's count this up. I've got 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, and 70, which means I've done a 40 and a 30. So let's do the 35. Let's do the 35. And let's see, that will leave me with 100 still that I can budget with. And 35 in here is going to put me at 105 for the balance. And then Disney, oh, nope, Summer I Turned Pretty is next. Or Summer I Started Saving, sorry, but based on the Summer I Turned Pretty. This week it gets 50. Okay. So that is going to leave me with only 50 left. Then Disney gets 15, which means I only have 35 left to budget with. So actually, let's see what we can do with that. We might not be able to stuff all of these today, because each icon for Cozy Cup is 10. Then I'm also going to start the Black Friday challenge, and each one of these is 25. So in order to do all of these, I would need 25, 35, and 45 basically, because I would need, the minimum I could do here is 10. So I only have 35. So I'm going to skip this one today. We'll start that one next week in my next cash stuffing. So we'll skip Cozy Cup today, but that one is going to be added to the rotation. So today I'm just going to do 10 into the For the Love of Fall challenge. And again, this is a $250 challenge. So the icons range from $10 to $50. And then the Cozy Cup Savings Challenge, this is also available in my shop, you guys. It is $120 for the whole challenge. Each icon is $10, so that's like a relatively low dollar amount one, which is nice. And then this one is my Black Friday challenge, and I have this available in 2 looks. You can do it with vellum, or you can do like the white cardstock. And this is a name your own amount. So I've decided that each of the icons are $25 for me, which will save me a total of $600 when I complete it. So there are 24 hearts on here. And I am going to do 25 in there today. So that is going to bring my balance in there to 25. And I need to fill in my balances in my other categories here. Let me see, how many icons am I going to have colored in here? 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 times 15, that will give me 225 in my Disney challenge. Okay, after I add that 15. And then this one, Summer I Started Saving, will have 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50 gives me 150 in there. Awesome. Okay. And then my Every Little Bit challenge, let's update those numbers. So the 1s are going to be at 12. The 5s will be at 60. 10s will be at 120. 20s will be at 240. So this is a week where we will not be adding to the 50s and the 100s. That's only once a month. And I think next week in my next cash stuffing is when we're going to start doing that. So let's add this up one more time and make sure that we do have 171 for the savings challenges, because that's what we had to work with. We have 10 plus 25 plus 15 plus 50 plus 35 plus 36, 171. And that is correct. So we are golden. 171 for the savings challenges. Then we have 30 in my low priority binder. Let's flip this back over and check the other numbers. Whoops. 71. Then we've got 50 for my wallet, 110 for high priority, and 80 for my short term for 441, and that is the number that we had to budget with. All right, my friends, well, that brings us to the end of today's long unstuffing and budget with me video, which was, you know, out of the norm. But thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys haven't already done so, leave me that emoji with the sick smiley face with the mask, because I'm over here a little sick. But again, thank you all so much for being here. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate all the love, and don't forget to check out my Etsy shop while I'm still running that sale. That's it for today, guys, and we will catch you guys in our next one. Bye.